Oh, hey, my camera's on. Well, there goes that. Looking like shit. I thought my camera was off. Hold on. Oh well, might as well leave it on now, right? How's everybody doing? Hello, hello, hello. Least I can do is make it smaller. Is my hair okay? I've been outside. It's so windy here, y'all. Hey, just keep it real. Hot tea drinker, Cinderella, Poppy. If I saw Flava in here and Jen P. Hey, Jilly. Whatever. Ms. Megs, how are you doing? Crystal. So I know that whenever my song. So I know that whenever I said I'm going live, I think everybody always assumes that it's, you know, about Katie Joy. And as we probably know, today is going to be something a little bit different. Hold on. I'm on my phone. And so of course, as soon as like I was getting used to, let me see, let me change the layout here. So at least I'm not like straight up in the middle. Yeah, it's a little bit better, I guess, huh? Um, so yeah, I really thought I had my camera off. I'm outside sitting on it. We have an enclosed porch and it's actually really sunny and it's nice out. And so I've been outside. So my hair, it's windy as all get out. Like I'm looking at our little wind sock thing and it's going absolutely insane. And my dogs are going to bark because they hear me talking. So they automatically assume that I'm talking to somebody. So they'll calm down in a second. Because, um, when I'm outside, if I put them inside, heaven forbid, I put them in different rooms, right? Oh, I mean, my God, that would just be that would just be, just call the police on that one. Um, Flavor. So yeah, whenever I leave the house, we have 4 dogs. I have a cat who's looking at me right now. Is probably gonna jump up in my lap here in a second too. I'll probably turn the camera off in a bit. But it's freezing there, huh, Mountain Mama? It is sunny and windy, but it's y'all, like for me, it's cold, but for y'all would probably a lot of you would probably be wearing like shorts and t-shirts. You'd probably be like, heck yeah, this is great weather. Not for Texas. But I don't know. So I was out early. I went to run errands. I came in, and whenever I leave, I put. We have 3 big dogs, and so they have a routine. One goes in the mud room, the other one gets the reign of the house, and then so if someone comes in, like she's a pit bull, she's a barrier, right? You get past that one, you're not going to want to see the next one who's in another closed off area, but beds, right? My husband and I were joking yesterday. He's like, "How many pet beds do we have in this house?" I started counting. I was like, "Oh my God, we have 10." And then my little guy is always in my lap. Hey, Misty Mo, you froze. I know. Like, I shouldn't complain. 35 there, Miss Megs. Like, I shouldn't complain. Like, I think when I was in my car, it said it was like 48. And so I know it's warmed up a lot since then. 35. Wait, I said, that stinks. Yeah, see, I couldn't handle the snow either, Goose. But, you know. Hey, Yorism, I haven't seen you in a long time, my friend. I've seen a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. I know that I'm gonna turn my camera off. This could drive me insane. I'll turn on in a bit. Um I'm seeing some people in here that I haven't seen in a while. And it's so good to see you. Happy, it's nice to meet you as well. Thank you for stopping in. Hey, Glam with Kimberly. It's 28. Oh, Nova Scotia. That's probably, is that warm? Honestly, I'm assuming, but are you talking Fahrenheit or Celsius though? 32 in Philly, huh, Julie? I would die. 17 in Alberta, Canada. Fahrenheit. Okay, 17 Fahrenheit. Um, Jen P, I hope your daughter's doing okay. I really hope your daughter's doing okay. Hey, Lock Lady, how are you? No, you're not late. We just started chatting. I I'm just decided to come live. So hey Kiki, I know a lot of, yeah, you don't in this from the south very rarely get snow. You know what? I was looking on my, and I should have put it on here. I was looking through my camera and it was last January. It was covered. We had snow, 60 in Florida and windy. Yeah. See, Love Louie. Hey, Love Louie. Yeah. Is Irish in here? So someone say, is it Irish? So anyways, we'll get to it. Again, my dogs are like, who are you talking to? What are you doing? What are you out there all by yourself for? Hey, Tripping Gauntlet. I don't know where Mama T is. Hopefully she's okay. I usually keep up with her. We chat on the side and I haven't heard back from her. I sent her a message a couple days ago checking on her, so I hope she's okay. She's supposed to get snow this weekend, huh, Brandy D? Thanks, Jilly. Yeah, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up. I'm gonna wait for my dogs to stop barking. um, but so again, this isn't about Katie Joy. I know that most people, whenever I go live, it's about Katie Joy. And this is actually something I am going to turn the actually, you know what? I'm going to turn the camera on for a bit because I feel like if I'm going to be talking, I feel like I need to be looking like where you guys can like see me or whatever. Um, I'm just I've just been watching this stuff unravel and unplay for a while now. You can't hear any dogs. Oh, they're inside. Like that's why I was kind of being a smart ass saying, well, they're in separate rooms. One's in the mud room. The other one has Rain of the house. My little one's in his kennel. Um, so Texas Country Lady, you're in here too. I didn't see you, gingerly. I'll probably sometimes I'll say hi to y'all twice. Look, y'all, I've been like running around like crazy. Um, I if you've been following me for a while, if you know me, you know that I don't really have any linear way of thinking. I swear to God, it's like I guess the best way to put it is probably I'm like a one-armed guy in a rowboat, right? Like I'm always like I feel like I'm always going in circles. I'm always talking myself in circles. So I've never been capable of like linear thinking, keeping things in line. It's just like I'm like a squirrel, I swear. Like a dog that's always chasing his tail, right? Making himself so dizzy and stop and be like, what? Oh shit, my tail, and goes back at it. Like, so if you know me, you know that I really have a hard time. So I was like, well, I could take notes. I'm like, notes my ass, please. Like I'd even follow number one. Or I guess I could make a spreadsheet, right? That always works. Or I guess or Chat GPT. I could ask Chat GPT what I'm thinking. What am I feeling? What do I need to say next? Can you analyze this shit for me? I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated, I'm confused, I'm sad. There's a lot of emotions I'm feeling right now. Yeah, I hope Mama T's okay. You saw her last week in Charlotte's chat. Yeah, I think I talked to her last week. No spreadsheet, says Flav. Are you sure? How about I'll Chat GPT it. How am I feeling? So look, I might cuss today. Again, if y'all are in here to talk about Katie Joy, that's not what this is about. There's nothing happening on that front, like absolutely nothing. Like there's nothing going on. And nothing. So the next thing that happens in that case is February. February 9th is her there's a hearing February 9th. So that's it. This is actually I'm talking about the drama community. And you see a lot of people in here that are from the drama community. So I'm gonna turn my camera off because I want to move this around and I just feel like I don't need y'all looking at my nose. So, all right, I don't even know where to start with this, y'all. So again, I'm talking about kind of some things that happen in the drama community. Um, we know that I have a hard time staying on track with shit. So I'm on my phone, which makes it better because then I'm not trying to like share my screen and cuss away. And when I do, it's weird. It's like when I cuss, it's like my southern drawl comes out. It's weird. I don't know. I try not to on my channel, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But again, I'll have to catch myself and roll myself back in. The first thing I really want to say is for those that were with me on my old channel as well, y'all know that I don't speak about Bombshell Reloaded. I've never spoke about Bomb on my channel. And for those that wanted to say that I did, whenever all this shit happened, it's been 2 years, okay? 2 years ago, we had a situation happen. I can't believe it's been 2 years. And I bet you it's almost to the day, y'all, that some of my information was put out on Bombshell's channel, right? And some people said, yeah, I've spoken on Bombshell. No, I never did. I'll tell you why. Because I had mods that were on Bombshell that were big, fans of Bombshell, friends of Bombshell. They were her mods. And I was on the other side with Jenny Jen Jen. So I didn't speak on Bombshell ever. I never did. I might have said her name, like somebody said, "Oh yeah, Bombshell said something in this, in this live or whatever." But I never talked about her. I never had a live stream about her one way or the other. I never had anything negative or positive to say. I just didn't say her name ever. So whenever that happened on her channel, I was really surprised. Right? That's neither here nor there. Um, but I am going to talk a little bit today because 2 years ago, when when this kind of happened and it happened through Bombshell's channel, I was pissed off, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what? And then I got over it pretty quickly. Like, what happened, happened. It is what it is. It's in the past. I might talk about that later. But I never talked about Bombshell because, like I said, I had people that I called friends um, that were modding on my channel that were on that side. I don't take sides, y'all. I've never taken sides. I just haven't. And but because of what was done on Bombshell's channel, was so I always said, I'll never be on that side or whatever it may be. But I'll tell you this. I have a heart, y'all. I don't give a shit how bad somebody thinks somebody is or whatever. If somebody's going through a hard time, I have feelings. I have a heart. I'm going to feel for these people. Okay. Bombshell's going through a lot right now. Did she put herself in that position? Sure, right? But she's a grown ass adult. She knows this. She's owned up to it. She knows that her decisions have put her in a bad place. Okay. I'm not here to even sit here and try to say who's right or fucking wrong on that. That's none of my fucking business. It's nobody's really. Now look, there are people in the drama community that have been going back and forth with her for years, and that's what it is. This is how y'all do it, right? But there's a certain line you don't cross. And it was crossed this week, and I'm shocked by it. So, like I said, I'm going to try to stay linear here. I'm going to try to say what I want to say. But the first thing I want to say is I've never spoken about Bombshell on this channel because it didn't matter what my opinion was. Okay. Even though I was, something happened on her channel regarding me, right? I'm a firm believer two wrongs don't make a right. That's just how I operate. And did I have some resentment? Sure. But does that mean I can't set it aside right now and say, holy shit, I cannot believe what I'm watching unfold in front of my fucking eyes? And not only that, y'all, it's by somebody that I supported. And we've seen a lot of fuck shit happen on here. We've seen a lot of things happen. I'm gonna turn my camera back on. I don't give a shit how bad I look. I feel like, oops, hold on. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like if I'm gonna, like lecturing a child, right? Like if I'm gonna tell you something, I feel like I need to look you in the eyes. Just don't mind my wind blowing hair. Um, and I've just been watching this unfold. So first thing I want to say is, um, we can sit here and point fingers at an adult all day long that you did this to yourself. Okay. All right. So Bombshell is homeless. And if you want to sit here and say she's not homeless because she has a roof over her head, is it her home? Is it where she's getting mail? Does she know that she's going to be staying there every night for the next, let's say, month? It's fucking homeless, y'all. And hey, Lucky Pup, you didn't miss too much. We're just, again, anybody coming in who's thinking that I'm probably talking about Katie Joy, nothing's going on in the Katie Joy front. We're talking about some stuff in the drama community. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because I have a place to talk about it. And we'll kind of get into that too, why I feel the way that I feel, why I'm sitting here talking about this. A year ago, 2 years ago, I would have said, you know what, I'll never speak out against Jenny Jen Jen. And look, I'm going to make this very clear. I'm not going to speak out on her by calling her names. I'm not going to be hateful. I'm not going to say any things that she and I talked about or nothing. That's just not who I am. But to see kind of what I've been seeing is just, it's just really bothered me. And again, like I said, here I thought, was somebody that I was supportive of, to see that when somebody's going through a hard time, we're going to kick them while we're down. I'm not for that. And I'm going to go back here in just a little bit, here in a second. I'm going to go back and talk about my experience with it, because I'm hoping some of y'all listen. Look, I know some of you that are in here that I call a friend, um, and that I check on. I know y'all are supporters of Jenny still. I'm not going to tell you where to go. Not my place. Okay. But I am going to tell you why I feel the way that I feel. And Bombshell lost her brother. When is enough enough, y'all? Bot lost her husband. My heart still breaks for her. Do I feel, did I have things to say about Bot in the past? Sure. Did I ever get into it with her? Not really. I mean, because I'm not one to go back and forth. But one thing I want to say while I'm thinking about it is, this is new for Bot, just as it is for Bombshell. 6 months from now, let's not forget how we're sitting here saying we feel bad. We need to check on them. We need to check on Bot. We need to make sure she's okay. Everyone's offering help, saying, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Well, in 6 months is probably when she's really going to need it. Right. I don't care. Bot never did anything to me, like, personally. Right. So, just because I disagreed with certain things, I can't imagine what she's going through, y'all. Hey, Angel, goodness, I cannot. Hey, Tommy, bitch. I cannot even imagine what she's going through. And I can't imagine what Bombshell's going through. Bombshell was down at her lowest. And look, Bombshell's a very tough person. Okay. We know this. She's just a tough broad, right? But even the strongest can break. And so, as somebody is putting out a video of her shit, all of her stuff, number one, they're tromping through her home. I didn't even watch it because I felt like I felt uncomfortable looking at somebody's belongings. Like, I was like intruding in somebody's space that I didn't belong in, right? Um, and so I'm gonna go through all this and say, for those that aren't familiar, those that don't know why I'm speaking on it, we're gonna get through that. But um, why would you put out? Why I still, for the life of me, and again, I was a supporter of Jenny for a long time. And I was a supporter of hers up until very recent, where I was like, I'm not choosing sides. That's not my thing. Bombshell lost her brother. Um, Probably right around the time that somebody was playing these body cam footages of her at her absolute fucking lowest in her life. And hey, guess who, Karma? Hey, Proud Army Mom. Hey, Sharon. I'm gonna turn my camera back off so I can read chat. I'm gonna get a little bit closer. I hate to say this, but do we really know she lost her brother? Lori, I would say yes. I listened to her live. I don't think anybody's played her live, but I went and listened to it myself. And you can't, you're not that, no, she couldn't act that way if she wanted to. She couldn't be that good of an actress. Hey, Misty Mo, how are you? Yeah, it's confirmed. But I could tell just by, and look, I can tell, I know people with a personality like Bombshell. It's like they want to be strong and then they break down and then they want to stay strong. So the next thing they say, some people might say, well, that sounds very insensitive. She's saying that. That's just how she copes with this kind of thing, y'all. Again, let me say this again. 2 years ago when this happened, it was exactly probably to the day, like I said, 2 years ago. And it seems like yesterday. And if nobody's had something like that happen to them, where they've been doxxed or they've been had personal information put out and it's all twisted and shit, Bombshell put it on her channel because somebody asked her to, and she didn't even know me. I had never spoken on her. I had never said anything bad about her. So I was hurt. I was bitter. And Jenny Jen made me feel better. Right. And look, she does this to every, whatever the thing may be. I'd never spoken on Bombshell. I never watched anybody's restreaming of Bombshell because I didn't have a side in it. But when that happened, I chose a side. Um, and I probably stuck with some anger for about a year, and then finally I went, why do I have all this hate in my heart for somebody I don't even know? Like, whatever. If I don't want to see it, don't watch it. If I don't want any part of it, don't pay attention to it, right? But at the time, um, I I felt like, okay, somebody's understands, and they've dealt with this with Bombshell, so I'm just gonna kind of, you know, and then that's where I leaned. And I'm not gonna say I regret it or that I would do it different. I mean, I was done dirty, but whatever, right? So, and and that's all we're even talking. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about my situation today. I'm just saying that's why I had the stance I had. And I was on, Jenny's with Jenny for a long time. And it was about a year or so after I started to kind of feel, and this is just my thought, y'all. Guess who, Karma? We're not gonna have any fighting in the chat. Like, if you have something against Flava or whatever, now's not the place to fucking do it. Okay. I understand that if Flava says she's gonna do something, has she done it yet? Okay. Look, Flava's put stuff out, right? But I'll tell you one thing, Flava's owned her shit. That's why I can be in her chat and have respect. I've told Flava, and Flava can attest to this since she's here. I've told her I don't agree with this or that you've said or done. I can't stand behind that. We're gonna agree to disagree, right? I do things my way. I could have done such dirty shit 2 years ago. I could have gone fucking dirty. Y'all. I could have gone batshit crazy wild. I should have. I could have. I didn't. That was my choice. So if everybody's dirty in this game, look, everybody to some degree. Why I started even talking about Michelle, I still question myself on that. Right? So if you're gonna sit here and say to anyways, I'll let y'all have that argument elsewhere. Just leave it out of my chat. That's all I'm asking. Um, I understand some people look, and there's gonna be people in here that I care for, that I check on. I'm gonna turn my camera back on again. I just feel like there are gonna be people in here that I check on, that I talk to, right? That I'm around, that are on Jenny's side. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you where to go. I'm not telling you who to choose. I'm telling you what my story is and why I feel the way that I feel, and why I feel this line that was crossed the other day is a line that I'm shocked, y'all. I'm shocked by it. Totally fucking shocked. Jack says showing the inside of house for dogs and other things was crossing a line. It made me uncomfortable. I care more about the people bomb scammed. And that's the thing, is I know there's people that say that, and that's why I never said my opinion on it, because I don't have I mean, I just look, if people want to give their life savings to somebody, I don't know if she's a scammer or that's not what I'm here for, really. I mean, what does how okay how does putting showing to the fucking entire world body cam footage of somebody at their lowest point having all their shit taken out of their house, trying to act like it's because you care for the dogs? Okay, fine, maybe you do. Okay. How does that fix scamming? How does that attack scamming? How does that correct scamming? 5 different videos of that. People are going to give money away to who they want to. Yes. Mimi G, it doesn't. So, hey, 2 skulls, 1 swing. I see you in other chats. Good to see you here. Thank you for that. If you haven't hit the like button, please remember to do so on your way out. If you don't want to do it right now, here come all the stupid simps calling you out. Jen P, Flava, I think are the only mods I have in here right now. I know that you guys know that I don't block or whatever. If we're going to start talking about my opinions on this, and I don't have a right, I'm not able to read chat really. But if there's gonna be anything about me and what I'm saying, and I don't have a right, if you're gonna call me out, um, just time them out. We can time out like certain shit because I knew, okay, so now I'm gonna go back to where, I've said for a while, like, I'm not gonna speak out on this because whenever I decided to kind of choose to really not be in Jenny's chat anymore, there was a reason for it. And Flava can tell you, and some other people that are probably in this chat, they might be in the bushes. They can tell you too that I said, when this happened, when I knew that there was a divide between Jenny and Flava, I did not do anything initially. I just I sat back and I said, okay, I am going to just give this a couple days and see how I feel about it. And one of the things I said was, look, I don't need to choose sides because nobody's done anything to me personally. It's kind of how it was back with Bombshell. She had never done anything to me personally, but when she did, then my opinions changed. Jenny's never done anything to me, still to this day. Flava's never done anything to me, right? Not to to any degree really at this point. But I said I'm not going to pick sides here. This is not I don't have a dog in this fight. So I sent them both a message. I sent Flava and Jenny a direct message. And I said, I need something to drink. Hold on. And I said, hey, pretty much sucks to see what's going on. I know y'all have bad feelings towards one another, but I'm just here to tell you, I'm not going to pick sides. Both of you were here for me, at one point, and that's it. That's it. That's how I left it. Well, the response I got from each one individually was the writing on the wall. Thank you, Sharon. I'm going to look at chat just for a second. Hey, Crafting with Amanda. There's a lot of people in my chat today that aren't normally in here. And hey, Ageless Beauty. And again, look, and this is funny. This goes to show y'all. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water. I don't think y'all wanted to see all that. This goes to show y'all the fucking drama community's in here. Look at this shit. Look at chat. It's like, what? So I'm talking about why I am where I'm at with it. And I was never going to say anything. And I talked to a couple of people behind the scenes. I don't know if they're in chat, if they're in the bushes or what. And I said, I'm not going to speak out on this because it's really just nothing I ever need to do. But after I saw what happened the other day, I'm going to. And again, I'm not going to be cussing people out. I'm not going to be calling people names. I'm just not. I'm not going to put out any information that I've had with anybody. What I'm saying is, for the people that are that stay in the background a little bit more and don't really know how to express how they feel because they've been hurt by somebody or something and they're afraid to say anything, maybe I can be your voice today by saying it. Dante, yeah, Katie Joyce, come in. It's good to see you, by the way, Dante. Yeah, see, that's it. I'm seeing a lot of people that I'm seeing back from whenever I was talking about Michelle, which, here we are, right? And so it's just so funny, like now it's like you can totally tell drama community because look at all the drama that's happening just in the chat. So when I got the response from both of them, I still didn't choose a side. I didn't do whatever. I still wanted to go where I wanted to go. And I was still in both chats and I was in the bushes because I was afraid. And I think I had said this before too. I was afraid to say something out loud many times because it's usually not the creator that even makes you feel shitty or like you're in the wrong place or whatever. It's the chat. It's okay it's good that you're out of the loop. I'm gonna kind of like I said, look, like I was saying earlier, look, y'all, I've never been a linear thinker. That my ADD is so out of control that it's hard for me to stay focused. But most of the people know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you don't, there's been an issue within the drama community. and Bombshell Reloaded was evicted, and that was no secret, and everybody kind of put that out, and there's back and forth. But then um, a situation happened that it didn't need to be put out, in my opinion. Again, these are my opinions. I know Jenny is not going to agree, but at this point, um, I don't care. Um, so when I got the response from both Flava and Jenny, that told me a lot. And so I still decided to just kind of do things the way that, I'm still going to go in both chats until I was in Jenny's chat and somebody gifted memberships and I was gifted a membership. And I don't know how, because I was still paying for a membership then. So, and I still do. Like, I'm still paying. I try to cancel it and it won't cancel. And I don't care. It's 99 cents. What do you get? 69 cents, 79 cents? What do they take? 30%? So you're getting 70 cents out of that a month? Doesn't bother me. And but somebody gifted memberships and I got one. And it was like, oh, haven't seen Southern Mutton. And maybe she didn't, you don't really, this way you have to be careful what you say. Pay attention to shit you say. Because I was always a supporter, right? Jenny and I used to text message one another. And it was like, oh, well, isn't it interesting that all the people that don't come around anymore are getting memberships? And I'm thinking, I fucking paid for one. I've paid for one for years. And that bothered me so bad. Obviously, I was like, wait, okay, first of all, just because I'm not chatting doesn't mean I'm not in here. Why I was gifted one, I don't know. It was on my channel. And then it came down to I still stayed because I felt a loyalty. And I was in there, and then one day she was like, "Well, everybody in Flavor's Chats are idiots," and I was like, "Okay, that was it." Back whenever she put Michelle on the panel, and she would say, "Whoever doesn't like it, get out. You can leave." And I took it, and it was like, that's her, and I still feel this way about people's channels. It's your channel, your panel, do what you want. If I don't like it, I can leave and I can come back, or I cannot come back, whatever it is. It's my choice, right? It's your channel. I shouldn't, but so many people, Michelle causes so many problems in the chat, so many problems on the panel that people were upset and finally just said, look, if you're going to have her, I'm not going to be here. She's like, fine, bye. And that happened and that kept going on. And then it got to a point to where she wasn't around much, and then she did start coming back on the panel. And I couldn't do it anymore after that. I couldn't do it anymore after she's calling, when she's throwing around the N-word, like she's saying, like, I mean, she just throws it out there, and she was talking to Flava. And at the time, my understanding, Flava and Jenny were friends, right? Because they were on each other's panels and stuff. And so that's whenever I really had the issue, but I still stuck around. And then all the separation happened. I still stuck around. I got called out because I got a membership, and maybe she didn't mean it that way. And those weren't her exact words. So don't say verbatim that I'm saying some shit wrong. There was a comment made by Jenny that I don't understand why people are getting memberships, the people that aren't ever here are getting memberships or whatever, that type of thing. So that rubbed me the wrong way. And I started going to Flava's Chat. I was welcomed more in Flava's Chat. I never felt like I had to make a choice in Flava's Chat. I never felt like I had to take sides. Yeah, Angel of Goodness. I've never seen Flava do any FOIAs on Jenny Jen Jen. I mean, I know that she said that she could, and that she has a possibility, there's that she might. Do I agree with certain things? No, and maybe at this point, Flava's going to change her mind. Look, we're not going to say, look, don't borrow from the future. If she hasn't fucking done it yet, can we just stop? I don't know if y'all are still, I just saw Angel of Goodness say that she hasn't seen her do it, and I haven't seen it either. So I don't know if there's still something going on. You stopped watching Ms. Michelle. I was given a JJJ membership and hadn't been in chat. I know, listen, Helen, like, you're one of the, I don't want to say you're one of the sweetest people, but you are. but so many people are like, there's so many people that I just love to see in my chats. I love to see in other people's chats. And there are people that are still in Jenny's, and I'm not trying to convince them one way or the other. They might not care for me. Is that Dash X? Hey Dash. Um I remind you of your mom. Y'all, I'm telling you. I literally whenever I thought my camera was off and it was on, I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna leave it on. Because I do kind of feel like if I'm gonna be talking about something like this, I owe it to people to at least be looking you in the eyes. I just do. I don't agree with everything Flav done either. And she knows that. But what I do agree with is people that can own up to their shit. This holier than thou thing bothers me. That's been bothering me a lot. Like, well, we don't. And I'm like, but you do. What do you mean you don't go real life? You do go real life. Clearly, didn't she go real life the other day? I'd call that real life. So, you know, whether or not Jenny didn't realize what she was saying or how she meant it, okay, I know that y'all are gonna have your opinions on that. Go for it, you know. I can't say how she felt, but I can tell you how I felt as a sub. I can tell you how I felt as somebody that I thought we were friendly. I would have said we were friends. Um, because when I went through everything that happened originally with the bombshell stuff, I realize now that maybe I was a story, I was content because I had a whole situation going on with her biggest enemy, right? Okay, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't give a shit, to be honest. Doesn't matter. Point is that I shouldn't have to feel like I'm to choose sides, but as a sub, I'm just letting you know how I feel. And that if you're going to keep saying everybody in Flavis chats are idiots, buttholes, what are we? All the things, dum dums. And I'm sitting in her chat. Who got timed out? It might have been by an accident, Toe Jack. I mean, maybe it's not. I'm not able to really read chat right now. Who puts death dates of subscribers on spreadsheets? It's weird. Misty Mo. That bothered me too. The spreadsheet thing got me. So once I started to kind of see, like, wait a minute, this is I'm just not feeling like you're gonna say, I don't Jenny says, that she doesn't make people choose. Well, you didn't say choose a side, but you sure as hell made me want to choose one. And I wasn't comfortable over there anymore. Because if I were to get called out for being, you know, in the bushes or whatever. I mean, Jenny has to know with who I am. I would never do anything to like hurt her personally or put anything out there. That's okay. I'm not going to do that. But I did separate myself, and even during all of that, there was a time that she wasn't going live, and I knew her health is scary right now. It says I will not. That's another thing I don't agree with is when people start going on about her health and all that. I can't get with that. I never will. I'll never support that. But to each his own. And when I didn't see her go live for a few nights, I thought, my gosh, what if she's in the hospital? So I sent her a text message, and I said, hey, I hope you're doing okay. I noticed you haven't gone live. I'm not in Discord, so I mean, I'd be in Discord every once in a while. I mean, I was in her Discord, but not like. I mean, I know that there's a whole thing about the Discord that went down or whatever. I don't know. I just was never really. I really just don't like Discord after what happened. But anyways, I said I'm not in Discord, so I don't know if they're talking about it in Discord or something happened to you. But I just want you to know I'm thinking about you and I hope you're okay. And this was genuine, y'all. This was from my fucking heart. It was like I meant it. I wasn't just making some bullshit up. And it was heartfelt, and it was. I'm. You can ask Flavor whenever I send messages. You can ask anybody in here that I send messages to. I'm long winded. Y'all can just tell me. Look, you can say it in 5 words, not 5 million. But when I said that to her, it was genuinely from the heart, coming from a friend. It was coming from a place, and I didn't get a response. And I thought, well, God, man, I hope she's okay. Look, I don't expect people to respond to me. I don't expect my own mom right away to respond to me, or my dad, like anybody, my best friend. Like, I mean, I might fuck with them and be like, hey, why didn't you, 5 minutes? What's taking so long? But I don't expect people to respond. So it just made me think, oh my God, something's wrong. But then she went live like that evening. I thought, okay, she's fine. But then I was like, and when I went back and checked, all it was she liked the message. She didn't say I'm fine. She didn't say anything. Then I noticed I was no longer in her Discord. And I'm like, did she think I was a mole, or that I was coming to send her a message to get information for somebody? Like, do you not know me good? I mean, I would think that you would at least know my character enough. I've never ever done some dirty shit on here. That you would that I wouldn't be a mole in your Discord. And so all of a sudden I wasn't in the Discord. I mean, I was like in the Discord, but I wasn't like, I didn't see all the rooms or whatever it was that I would see before. And I was like, wow, okay, okay, there's my answer. And then I and then me, along with so many of you others, are being called idiots on a daily basis. Why would I go back over there? And then the spreadsheet situation came out. That bothered me. Okay, but am I going to say anything? No. Are there two sides to every story? Sure. Do I have enough details? No. Am I going to watch Flava talk about it? Yes, because that's the chat I'm in, right? Um, and so it's to me, it's just like it. If you're going to say I'm hate bonding, if you're going to sit here and say that all these people are hate bonding, I'm here to tell you this is not hate bonding. Okay, if there was any hate bonding, it's honestly, if you want to know God's truth, it was me hate bonding on Jenny's side in the beginning. Okay. If I came into this community for any hate bonding, it was then, not now. Um, okay. Who's if we're okay, look, if we're talking shit on Flava, y'all can mute them. Just go ahead and mute them. I mean, like, look, if you don't like Flava, you don't like Flava. You're in my chat. Can you have some respect? I don't give a shit if Flava's a felon. I don't give a shit if all 144 people sitting here watching me are felons. I'm a boring ass bitch. I have not even. I mean, I have. I've never been in trouble by the law, but I'm sure as shit not going to judge anybody else that has, especially if they've owned up to it and are making changes. It's not for me to judge. Oh, you mean Flama is a felon? That's right, Flama. Flava. I've been calling you the wrong name this whole time. Flama. That. Anyways, I'll shut up on that part. So if you're gonna, that's my whole thing is if you want to know why I'm not around, I feel like I'm gonna say why. And the why is that Jenny can say that she doesn't want people to choose sides, but I felt like I mean, I was forced to choose a side. Flame of the felon. And and look, I'll tell you one thing right now too. Even if I wasn't a supporter of Flava and I saw Flava reacting the way that she's reacted to this, I would still clap her on and say kudos. Even if I had an issue against her, I would still say, hey, we don't see eye to eye, but I agree with what she's saying. Um, so to say that it's hate bonding, I'm here to tell you it's not. I'm not over there bonding with people because of the hate for Jenny. I don't have a hate in my heart for fucking anybody. I did for a while. And I'm not gonna lie, at one point I was like, bombshell, oh my God, like I wouldn't give a fuck if something happened or whatever. And guess what? The second that I saw When the second I okay, look, wasn't even saw, the second I heard true pain in that woman's voice, call me a wimp, call me whatever, I don't care. That's when I said, this shit's different. This is different. This is different. This is different. And um and all of those feelings that I had about her were gone, and I don't even care. I do want her to know that she hurt me, that by allowing somebody to tell her, hey, I need you to put this information out, and you didn't vet it, you don't know who I am, you know nothing about me. And what was done, y'all don't even know what was done behind the scenes. No, there's only a few people that do know. Jenny's one of them. Um, they know what really was going on and why I deleted my channel. Okay. And that's why it was so hard for me to even say these things. I never wanted to turn against Jenny, and I'm not gonna talk shit on her and call her names or anything. Um, you know, what happened was bad, y'all. And I deleted my channel for a reason. I separated myself for a reason, and it's done now. But I didn't blame Bombshell necessarily for it. And I even told Jenny in the beginning, look, I'm not going to call Bomb out on this because yeah, she let somebody come up on her panel and do it. So my point is, Bomb, it hurt. And I think if you're saying that you're humbled now from all of this, what's going on, maybe you can hear my words now that hurt. You didn't know me. You knew nothing about me. And what you did could have caused a lot of damage by allowing that to happen. Enough said. I'm not going to harp on it. It's done. But my point is that the hate bonding, that's where I hate bonded. But now, when I heard the pain and I see what's actually happening to somebody in real life, okay? How can some of us not have a heart to see that there is a difference of what some people have done against other people? They've played it out. They've gone at each other back and forth, right? Like, um, if somebody did something to one person and they decided to act on it, that's on them. I'm not going to do something against somebody who's never done anything to me. Um, what is what is rock bottom? No home, no job. Her brother died. Good God, it's rock bottom. And when I'll be honest, I go to bed very. I think Misty knows like me. She goes to bed early, and I don't know what time zone she's in, but I go to bed really early for now. I used to not, but I do now, and I get up really early, and so I get up in the morning and I try to catch up with what happens in all the communities that I follow. And that night I was still awake, and Flava was restreaming Jenny, and I was like, "What's about to happen? What the fuck is about to happen?" And I got so upset for somebody that 2 years ago I would have sworn I hated, to where I turned it off. I didn't even watch it. I couldn't. It's Tobo. Hey, Tobo. And if there's somebody that have come in here and I haven't acknowledged you, hello to everybody. If you're in here causing some trouble, I get it. I get that we all have opinions. I get it. And that's okay, but I don't need name calling. If you think Flava does not know she's a felon, I think you're fucking wrong. I think she's pretty aware. And okay, now what, right? You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. I'm never going to put out anything that Jenny and I talked about. Um, I'm grateful for the times that she did listen to me when she did. My point is that if you're going to say that you're not making people choose sides, but yet when people come in your chat and you make them feel that way, even without directly saying it, it happens. So when I saw that this was going to happen, and Flav was like, what? I turned it off. The next morning, I got a message that Bomb's brother died. And y'all, I cried for her. I'm not a huge praying type. I'm a very spiritual person. And my words were, what else does this woman have to endure? If karma's a bitch, bitch has just bitch slapped her, man, because it all came at once. And look, Bomb admits she said some not just dumb shit, horrible shit. She's done some bad things. She's been a shitty person. She's been a shitty person to maybe people that didn't deserve it. She's been a shitty person to people that do deserve it. All of the above. Karma's real. And I don't want to sit here and go, oh, she's getting her karma. That's not what I mean by this. But what I'm saying is now's not the time to start rubbing it in her face while she's down. Let's just kick the dirt on her while she's down. I won't do that to anybody. And I have to be very careful. I mean, I just am, just naturally, it's who I am. I'm very careful with my words and what I say because I don't want those to be my last words. And I'm just going to ask that all of you just please, before you say something about another creator, about somebody in your life, about somebody you don't know, a creator you do know, a creator you don't know, people on the street you don't know, before you say something and do something, just ask yourself, is that the last thing I want them to know of me? Are those the last words I want that person to hear me say? Bombshell is in that place where she's at and she knows why. And if she wants to deal with it the way she wants to deal with it and her people want to deal with it, fine. If she comes back raging once she gets through this and she gets back on her feet and she wants to be bombshell again and she's going to come out and she's going to start tearing people new assholes, okay, then you can go toe to toe. But now's not the time to fucking do it. Bomb deserves grace, right, Misty Mo? And I'm telling you, everybody deserves grace. And I hope that if something happens to any of these other people that we might feel we have issues with, we have to remember the same thing, y'all. Just we can't just because we're pissed off right now, we're gonna talk all kinds of shit. One thing that I hate to hear the most on here, don't think I haven't said it under my breath. I haven't said it out loud. And I haven't said it in a long time because I got rid of all the hate in my heart. And one of the reasons why I did was because what happened with Bombshell, and I'm not even mentioning the other person. She's not even fucking she's not even worth the breath air. But I will tell you this, I don't want anything bad to happen to her or her family, her son, her life. I don't want her to be homeless. Bitch did me dirty, man, but I could have been dirty back, but I could have also caused a lot of problems in her life that could have been equivalent to what Bombshell's facing. I'm not going to be responsible for that. That's all I'm going to say with that. Look, because this is YouTube. For fuck's sake, y'all. This is YouTube. When are we going to separate it? When are we going to stop going real life? When that shit, okay, look, when that shit happened with me on Bombshell's channel, maybe Bombshell did or didn't realize it. I don't think she did because I don't think she knew who I was. I guarantee you now, if you said Southern Button, she'd be like, who? She wouldn't even know. Fine, whatever. Point being is, it wasn't just me, okay? That whole situation wasn't, there's nothing to come after me for. My character, my history, y'all can dig and dig and fucking dig and dig on me, my husband, my family, okay? Come up with what you come up with. What's it gonna do? Number one, I'm boring as hell. So you can't come after me. You're gonna go after my emotions. You're gonna have to go after where it hurts. And that's what I've seen this whole time was what happens in this community. We go after what hurts. I chose not to fight fire with fire. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't going to do it. And I just hope that from when we see what's going on here with somebody that we all swore that we hate, and she takes her last breath, we're not going to give a shit. Look at how we all actually feel. You can sit in here and you can call Flava this and that, and you can call these other supporters of Flava this and that. But they're in here and they're willing and able to say, I'm setting this shit aside. We're laying our swords down right now. And just because somebody's done, some stuff, if we learn from it, we learn from it. If we keep being an asshole, then we keep being an asshole. And then, and then we can make our decisions on who we support then. But I'm speaking of right now. So, and I think that, let's say if Jenny wants to say that what she did was not wrong. Okay, that's fine. Okay. I personally feel that it was. Bombshell was out on the street. I'm not even going to bring up, you know, who either, who went there to help. Um, that's a hard one in itself because it's like there's a fucking problem. There's a bullseye. That's the problem, right? It all circles around that. Okay. But to, okay. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit more. It's more than, okay. So before she put out the FOIA, the body cam footage of everything being put out on her lawn. Not everything just being put out on her lawn. You know, her whole thing was, in my opinion, and she said it, you know, this is about the dogs. I feel bad about the dogs. I feel bad about the dogs. When you see a man on the side of the road and it's him and his dog, are you going to scoop up the dog and take him to safety? What the fuck? She says that she doesn't care about those dogs. Listen, there's one thing I've never been vocal about because I've been in chats with people like Bombshell doesn't care about dogs. You know, people have called the Humane Society or whatever on her. That's not even the word I'm looking for. You know what I'm talking about? Protective services for pets, whatever. What's the fucking word? Anyways, um, I hear people say that they don't think Bombshell takes care of her animals. I never agreed with that. But I never said it. You know why? Because if I would have said it, I would have gotten chewed out in chat. I would have had, I would have been wearing the scarlet letter. How dare I say that Bombshell doesn't? I still do the same. Like if I thought she did, I would say it. I'll tell you one thing: those people that think that Bombshell or, like I even seen people try to say that Simply Sophie is abusive to her animals or whatever. Come on, you've never. If you think that Bombshell's animals are not taken care of, you've never seen an abused animal. And I hope to God you never do. I hope to God you never see what some animals go through. Period. I've got one in there that's a rescue. I've had her on here before. She's a pit bull. The sweetest soul you'll ever meet in your entire life. We got her clinging to life. My husband saved her. Clinging. I don't know how she survived. And now she has saved my husband 3 times, I know for sure, from being bit by a copperhead. She took the bite instead. That was an abused animal. Does she should she have gotten that second dog? Oh, I can have an opinion and say no. It's just my fucking opinion. Does it matter? No, it really doesn't. Whatever. Okay. Are my dog's toenails too long? Sure. I'll give you that. Am I gonna probably now go, shit, I need to cut them? Yeah. Are my dogs fed? Yes. Are Bombshell's dogs fed? Yes. I even cook my dog's own food, y'all. I got 4 of them and they all eat differently. It's like having 4 kids with 4, you know, that are picky eaters and you have to cook all different foods. Um, okay, hold on, I'm turn my camera off. I'm gonna drink some water. Um, Let me go back. I saw something I wanted to read real quick. Yeah, people called animal control on her just to be mean. They do it all the time across these communities. You live next to a rescue farm? Oh God, Eorism, then you know. Right, see, Flava, I mean, like you're gonna sit here and say, and you're gonna have, oh, I'm not even gonna go there. Flava, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said I wasn't gonna. I don't want to play Beetlejuice right now. Exactly, Dante. Oh, God damn. Hold on. Why isn't it? You know what? I'm on my phone and I'm trying to pin comments. I guess I can't pin comments on my phone. I thought I could. Your typos are really bad, Misty. Welcome to my world. Um, okay. Well, I can't pin anything. Hey Donna, how are you? Hey Shelby. when she had Michelle on panel the last couple times, look, I get it. I get what the game was, right? The game is, okay, we're gonna get back at Bombshell. I'm talking prior to this FOIA request, right? Prior to this body cam footage about them going in and removing all their stuff and removing the dogs, right? Hey, Shelby. Um, Prior to that, when I was still kind of not sure, and then I got to the point where I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done here. I just don't think I can support much of this. It was because Michelle was on panel, and but it was since when are again, I don't want to bring her up too much because that's not this is not what this is about. But if we're gonna say somebody's lying all the time, and you're gonna define them as being a liar, um, then when you need something to maybe fit your narrative, all of a sudden they're telling the truth. And here's the thing. I honestly have said this, and there are a couple people that can vouch for this. Charlotte's one of them, and I'm not trying to call Charlotte on the web out. I know she's got her own stuff going on, but I've talked to Charlotte about this for a long, times, and I've said, I'll never, I don't agree with stuff that Jenny does, and then it got to the point where I was like, okay, well, I'm thinking about leaving, and then it was like, okay, I've left, and now it's like, I'll never speak out on her, and then I sent her a message. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to because I'm at the point where it's like, you can't sit here and say I don't make people choose sides. Well, I'm here to tell you why I chose a side. Um, if we don't feel comfortable in somebody's chat, we're not going to go in there. So you're ultimately pushing us elsewhere. Plus, I was a supporter of both sides. Why shouldn't I be able to be in both? Right? Um, to call everybody in somebody else's chat an idiot, knowing that you might have some people that are on both sides. To not own up to certain things bothers me too. Like we're sitting here this holier than thou, like, oh, I don't do this and I don't do that. And oh my God, Bombshell had our dogs in separate rooms. That's just weird or awful or she's a weirdo, whatever it was. I don't know. And I'm thinking, in what world is that weird? Each one of my dogs have a place that they go whenever I leave the house, which isn't very often, okay? But everybody does it differently. Everybody does it differently. Southern Mutton, you can be in both chats. Oh, I know. Well, that's the thing. I know I could be in both. I knew I could be in both chats. Uh, that's why I was in Flavas, and then I was pretty much whenever I was gifted a membership in Jenny's, I was called out for it. Like, why are people getting memberships that don't come here anymore? I still pay. I still pay, y'all. I still pay a membership over there. I don't know why. It's not letting me not, but whatever. It is what it is. I don't. She says that she doesn't want money from her channel. If it was somebody that I thought actually still needed the money or wanted the money, I wouldn't stop my membership. I wouldn't, especially not at 99 cents a month. Thanks, Misty. So, to say, it was like, and we all do this, y'all. We're all guilty of this shit. Okay, let's just be honest here. Like, we see something that somebody else isn't doing, and we're going, okay, I don't do that. I mean, we're all guilty of that shit, right? We're human. I'm not sitting here saying that the drum community is not going to go back to doing what it does, and everybody's not going to do shit the way they do it. But there has to be a point, y'all, where at one point you have to say, should I do this? Should I say this? And if you even think maybe that's a bad idea, don't do it. Give it time. I was going to go live yesterday and talk about this. And I said, no, don't do it. I got in my car. I went driving. I got Starbucks. I don't even drink coffee, y'all. And I don't like their tea. So I, I, I drove. My husband was home, yesterday. And so I said, I'm just going to go do some retail therapy. I'm going to drive to go anywhere. I have to drive an hour to get anywhere good. I have to drive an hour. So I drove and I thought about it. And I just kept thinking, And then I chose while I was driving to listen to Bombshells live. Because I have to say, there's one thing I want to give credit to people for is nobody, at least that I follow, restreamed Bombshells live that she did, I believe it was yesterday morning, kind of explaining her situation. And I listened to it because I wanted to hear it on my own, and I did. And y'all, I cry. Look, I'm a crier though. I cry when other people cry. I've said this from the very beginning. I've started my channel. I'm a crier. And at one point I was like, should I look to see like how long my drive is to Columbus? And then I wanted to smack myself like, no, you don't. No, you can send good vibes, right? Um, so let's get back to this. There was a lot of shit going on, like with the spreadsheet and deflection, and is Flavor the one that put out about Bombshell's eviction? Yeah, let me ask y'all this. Hey, Flavor, or anybody who's in here. I know that you put out the eviction of this house. Who's the one that had the information on the evictions in the past? Like who exposed Bombshell's previous evictions? Was it you? Was it somebody else? Um, because you have Flavor, but see, here's the thing too. This is, again, if you don't like Flavor, you don't like her. I'm not going to tell you to. I'm not going to tell you not. I don't give a shit. Okay, like I said, there are people that I'm not seeing them in my chat right now, but I know that afterwards I can say, hey, I know you don't agree with what I said, but look, we're still cool. Oh, we got a misinformed person in here. Let's see. Oh lordy, trauma community, you're not failing me, are you? Hold on. Or they timed out. Oh, Bombshell's address wouldn't even be out there if it wasn't for Flava. And I see a lot of that mix where people will say, um, it was so and so who did this or that, and then I believed it because I was told that, because that's who I followed, that's who I supported. And I'm not like specifically talking about Jenny Jen Jen. I'm saying in general, like I might have been told something and I believe it, and then all of a sudden you see you see something different that contradicts that. And you're like, like you see real receipts, right? So, um, anyways, I can't fight other people's fights, and I'm not going to, right? Number one, Flava doesn't need anybody to fight her fights. I might need Flava to fight my fights. I think there'll probably be a time where I'm like, Flava, I'm just kidding. Um, Look, I get it. I get that there are people that are going to disagree with me. And I know Jenny's going to be like, what the hell? Like, I think this might shock her that I'm sitting here. But look, here's the thing. I sent a message whenever the divide happened with Flava and Jenny to both of them saying, I'm not going to choose sides. I shouldn't have to. And the response was positive from both of them, but they were different. That's just the easiest way for me to put it. They were different. Right. But not only is it just about the response, it's about what follows. Like, are you going to follow up with me? Are you going to, all those things. And it took a long time. Now, Flavor, when was the divide with y'all? Like, okay, so what month is it now? January? Was this in the summer, or was it more like in the fall? Because, um, I don't know, y'all. I'm disappointed in so many ways because I know there are people that are going to fight this and go, no, what Jenny did is fine. Because Flava did it, Flava's done it, and I'm not saying everything Flava's done is right. She knows I disagree with some stuff. But if you're going to put out pictures of, okay, the stuff on the lawn bothered me what tickled me was that they did Chat GPT to to label it all. Okay, like it's like some fucking like evidence room or some shit. We gotta label some shit. Like, we gotta get all this shit labeled, right? Um, that tickled me. That it was kind of like, whatever. And of course I disagreed with it, but it didn't throw me over the edge. I didn't like it. There's no way to tell. And I'm not going to say one way or the other because I don't know. There's no way to tell if Bombshell had some of her shit stolen, if she had all of her shit stolen, or if she had zero shit stolen. I don't know. So I'm not going to speak on it. I have no idea. Nobody knows but Bombshell. Okay. So for us to see, for anybody to say, oh, well, and then another fucking ridiculous thing, y'all, as they're going through the house, okay, they are there on this body cam footage to take everything out and throw it in the yard, which is where we saw the picture. That was everything, that where he says, okay, this is everything that was on her yard. She's missing X, Y, and Z. Or it's still there. It wasn't stolen. Bombshell says it was stolen. She's good. Whatever the argument is on that. Okay, again, I don't know. So I'm not going to speak on it. I can't say shit. I don't know. But as the footage was going on, where they're in the house taking the dogs out, and you're saying, look, there's her electronics. She said got stolen. Did you not? What did you? Like, did you really just fucking say that? What part of you didn't go, okay, that was a dumb thing to say? Of course, all of her fucking electronics were still there because they hadn't put everything out in the yard yet. So it's like, if you can't, anyways, I'm just gonna talk myself into circles, so I'm gonna stop there. I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff, but where are we gonna go? This is my question. Where's this gonna go now, y'all? Where is this gonna go now? Where I put this out there, a lot of people see it as bad. She said that one of the reasons why she did it was because sometimes people need to see how low they are in order to make a change. You think Bombshell didn't see that shit for herself? You think she saw that shit through her fucking tears when she's trying to pick stuff up off the ground that maybe was there, maybe wasn't? I don't know. Okay. But what I can tell you is that whether all of her shit was stolen or none of it was stolen, she knows she's in a bad spot. And she doesn't need you, the person that she hates probably the most in this world, to give her a life lesson at 58. Okay. That bothered me because it showed that we're reaching. Well, I don't want to say we because I ain't no part of this shit. But, there's some reaching there. Um, I don't agree with a lot of shit that goes on, but I don't say shit. I just don't. I just don't. For my own reasons, whatever they may be, it doesn't matter. This bothered me. This bothered me so bad because she's saying, basically, I want y'all to see this because of the dogs. I want you to see what she put the dogs through. Bullshit. And Jenny, I'm sorry if this is going to offend you and piss you off. Okay, whatever. Bullshit. This was a way to humiliate somebody. And you did it. Kudos. Do we all just give a round of fucking applause? Because that was some humiliation right there. They're going through her stuff. We're seeing her. What if she had some intimate stuff sitting out of some sort? I didn't even watch it, so I don't know. I listened. I didn't watch. Okay. This was not about the dogs. So that's my opinion. Hate me. I don't give a shit. You're gonna hate me after this anyway, so um she didn't need you to give her a life lesson. So when Flava does dirty shit, she says, I'm about to do some dirty shit. Do I agree with that dirty shit? No. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's really not that dirty. Whatever. But there's no ownership in the fact that this was, look, I do not believe for one fucking second that this was to show people what her dogs were going through. She knew what was being shown on these tapes. She knew what was going to be seen. She knew what was going to be taken by it. What she didn't know is that Bombshell's brother, unfortunately, was going to pass away. And then she was going to have that on top of it. So I can't, I'm not going to blame Jenny for that. Like, man, you really kicked her while she was down. Okay. Cause but again, that's why I'm here to say, can we all please, before we say some shit, before we do some shit, just think about it first. Cause what if that's the last thing that person, um, hears or sees or deals with? I think, one of the things I'm just realizing is we're never going to know people for who they truly are. And that goes in real life, definitely online. Um, I thought I was in a certain place with people that were, we thought the same way, whatever, shared the same thoughts, beliefs to some degree. I know that's never going to happen fully. But when I realized that maybe that's not what it was, I have the right to separate myself. And Jenny hasn't said anything about me, individually leaving, other than like whenever I was in chat. And again, maybe she didn't mean it that way, but I'm explaining why I separated. But having Michelle on there, allowing Michelle, didn't allow, okay, so she know. Are we surprised that when Michelle gets up on somebody's panel and Flava's name is mentioned, that she's not going to start screaming the N word and become the biggest racist ever? And then why are we shocked? Why was there any amount of shock that Michelle was on a panel and said that? And then she said, Michelle, we're not on Rumble. That bothered me. Do I think that she meant it that way? No, probably not. But is that how it was said without an apology, without an acknowledgement? That's how it was said, without an apology and without an acknowledgement. Yes. So that bothered me. And then to act shocked about it, then to act like, Michelle's the teller of truth. I think there are things that Michelle has told the truth about. Like there's times later on we're like, oh, there's Michelle did know what was going on, whatever. But in this situation, I don't care. She was talking to Mike and all that good stuff. That's their drama. Okay. They can deal with all that. Bombshell was put out of her house. Everything that she owned, literally down to probably the bar of soap, was thrown on the front yard. I don't care how much I hate somebody. I can't rejoice in that. Um, you don't think Jenny Jen meant, hold on, I gotta wait for that comment to go up before I can finish reading it. And it's possible she didn't mean that. Look, again, Jenny listened to me at times when I needed someone to talk to. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not going to cuss her out, call her names or whatever. But the one thing that I will say, the one thing I am adamant about is that video was not released to show the state of the dogs. I firmly believe that. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was but that's my belief, and I'm entitled to that. Um, Everything that she owned was thrown out on that lawn. We saw the pictures. That was enough. I mean, that was kind of crossed the line, but it really wasn't, considering what we see happen in this community. But putting out that body cam footage was. I lost any inkling of respect that I had. I lost. It's gone. It's gone. There's been no acknowledgement. Now, I don't know if Jenny has made a statement about Mom's brother, if she's reached out to her. I don't know. It's none of my business. Okay. I don't know. Because again, would it be different if Mom's brother would have passed away the day before? I mean, I don't know. This is the timing of it. It's very unfortunate. I know that some people have said, gosh, I just hope Mom can get through this. If it was somebody else, I'd probably be like, I'm not gonna say I'm not concerned for her mental health and her mental well-being because this is it. But I know she's a strong bitch. She'll find her way through this somehow. I think that it's gonna bring people into her. She'll get the help, and then maybe, hopefully, her ways will change. All these arguments and people say that she's this and she's that, of this way and that way, whatever. Okay, I'm not here to even. I don't have a say so in that. That's not my argument here. Shea Bear says Jenny had a malicious intent. And I don't know if you're talking about like the state, whatever, but if it comes to the video, look, they've been going after each other for years. I just don't like that it was, well, she needed to see, sometimes you just need to see how low your life is. You think all of her shit in her front yard did not tell her that her damn self? Do you think she didn't know? Look, she's homeless, y'all, and that sucks. I don't care if you say it's because people are paying her way. That too could come to an end. We don't know. Does she know she's going to have a roof over her head for maybe the next week? Maybe that's set. What about a month, 2 months? We don't know. She's homeless. She does not have an address that people can send mail to. Homeless. Different stages of it, for sure. There are different stages of it. There are people that are in, such uh, different stages of addiction and people that are on the street that have nothing but the clothes on their back and the only thing they care about is their next fix. Is she at that level? No. No. But is she homeless? In my opinion, yes. To kick her while she's down, I never thought, and this is just me. Y'all can say, see, that y'all figured it out. I'm slow and it took me a while to learn it. I didn't even think Jenny would do that. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different, I don't want to say, different levels of rock bottom, but everybody's rock bottom is going to be different, right? Um, one thing that I just hate, and anybody that follows me outside of this and watches like the stuff about Katie Toy or whatnot, um, one thing I never state something as a fact unless I know 1000% that it's a fact. And that's it. The entire situation is sad as fuck. Spot on. There is a difference between petty and cruel. And look, I know there are some people in this chat even that know that they've made mistakes and they've done some bad shit. Own up to it. If it's been owned up to, I can absolutely I have a lot more respect for somebody who owns up to their shit. If you make a mistake, you own it. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, it bothered me. Okay, so y'all, my heart breaks for Bombshell losing her brother. As far as the eviction and being put out and being homeless sucks. That bothered me for her. And I said, well, yeah, she's been through this before. A lot, people don't want to let her forget that. It's not like she doesn't know that either. But she knows that she got herself in that spot. So when it comes to her brother, man, y'all, my heart breaks. And I'm not saying that Jenny has, did any of this while, in addition to it's not like this was done after they knew that her brother had passed away, but y'all, my heart breaks for her for that. Um, Even if you're estranged from family, I'm not saying she is or she was or she wasn't. I don't follow it closely to even know. You hear some people say one thing and, she said yesterday, we're not as, you know, we're closer than what people thought. They don't hate me, like whatever it may be. Even people that are estranged from their family that had to separate themselves from them for reasons that might be best for their mental health, physical health, whatever it may be, you're still losing a family member. And so I appreciate that people did not restream Bomb's message to her followers, like her live stream explaining what she was going through and how she was feeling. Like, um, and again, the same thing with Bot, like it was nice to see that people were able to set differences aside. Oh, is there somebody's blaming that's listen, I don't think Bombshell's gonna say it's not her fault that she's where she's at. She does not manage money well. Okay, this is a pattern. We've seen it, whatever. Okay, fine. Do we need to put out the fucking body cam of when they were going through her personal items, her personal property, and throwing it on the yard and watching her dogs? Thank you. I would pin that, but I can't pin because I'm on my phone. Thank you for, she needs prayers, hugs, love, whatever. Look, I mean, and that doesn't mean that, just because I'm like, okay, well, I feel bad. Do I forgive her or some, well, I do for my own personal thing, so I can't say that. But do I agree with shit she did? No. No. Do I think she's done some shitty stuff? Yes. Okay. And do I get to rejoice because now she's at a really, 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 really bad place that any of us could potentially be in somehow? Bomb doesn't care about anyone but Bomb. Never even said thank you to one of her top mods. I gave her all the money when she had none herself. And that very well, if that's your opinion, you're entitled to that for sure. I'm not saying that look, I don't follow closely enough to know. But was I doxxed on her channel? Yeah, she didn't even know me. You think I didn't have hate in my heart? I'm not saying she's a great person. Can people change? Yeah. Could this possibly change her and her want to change her ways and how she does stuff on her channel? Absolutely, it could. I don't know if it's going to. Only time will tell. I can't sit here and say what's going to happen. Only time will tell. But yeah, but people like to be able to enjoy that video, to see, you know, hold on, y'all might hear some ruckus here. Hold on. I'm taking oh, I almost just ended the live. Can y'all hear me? Because I just took it off of my thing. I was getting uncomfortable sitting. Can y'all hear me? Okay, thanks, Donna. It, everybody's entitled to their opinion. If they don't, like, I'm not sitting there saying that this erases everything Bombshell did. Not even close. Not even close do I think that. Not even, no, not even close. Does it give the right to do what was done as far as putting out that information and letting it be seen the way that it was and the way that it was portrayed? I disagree with it completely. And apparently I'm not the only one. I saw Wendy V went live about it. I went to go run some errands this morning and then I was outside, so I didn't get to watch it. I think even Panda Bear, I saw Panda Berry talked about it too. Ageless Beauty says, hopefully this will wake her up. Only time will tell. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, does this erase everything she did? No. Could this be her karma smacking her in the ass, being like, hey, look, okay, you whatever, wake up. I don't know. It's not my place to say. Look, there are people that have had beef with Bombshell for a long time. That's between them. But my point mainly was like, I'm not going to speak out on why I decided to leave Jenny's chat and all that. But if there are people feeling the same way that I felt, I hope that you, um, because I know it's hard whenever you feel like, okay, I can't go into somebody else's chat, because if I go over to Flava's chat, then I come back over here, I'm going to be treated differently. And it is the truth, y'all. Hey, Kiki, it's just the truth. She dogs you as well, and you're nobody, but you don't want her to be homeless. Yeah. Look, homeless and being evicted, being thrown out. Yeah, that's okay. All that stuff. um, be more responsible. You know what it is? It's people are like, pay your bills, pay your bills. It's live within your means. Okay. So maybe now this will be the eye opener she needs. But on top of it all, to lose her brother. Hey, Luke, how are you doing? Thank you for the reminder. Daily, I can't pin, or I'd pin it. I'm on my phone. KJ is a trash bag. And if you've been listening, we're not talking about Katie Joy, but I need that daily reminder. Everybody needs that daily reminder. And in that case, nothing's going on right now. February 9th is whenever we'll have something next in that. There's a hearing February 9th. Shelby says, you will be treated differently. You will be, because I was treated differently. I was. And, maybe it's not intentional, but here's the thing. A lot of times I wouldn't even blame the creator, right? Because they can't control the chat. They take up the fight for, see, that's true. See, and that's it. And it's like, then I was quiet. So then when I was quiet and I was just in the bushes, and then somebody, somehow was gifted a membership, which I don't know how I was gifted one because I already had one, but nonetheless, I was gifted one, and then I got called out for it. You know what? That's such a good point. Starting from zero is going to be hard for her, but she has nothing to lose now. It can only get better. This is like a clean slate. Like, sometimes you say, okay, clean slate. This is as clean of a fucking slate as you can get, unfortunately. Hey, Unitopia. It's okay. Just glad you're here. The creator can tell the subs back off. Um, I hate peas, yeah, but it's like earlier whenever I was in my zone and I'm on my phone and I couldn't really see chat fully. My eyes are getting old. I refuse to go get my eyes checked. I just refuse. And I couldn't really see it. So yeah, it is my place to tell them to back off. But it's still a vibe. It's like walking into a room and everybody turns around and looks at you and gives you like, oh fuck, she's here. Right? Thankfully I've never had that happen. But it's like if you walk into a room and everyone's like, oh, you're just gonna turn around and walk back out. That's how it feels. Um, I always said, and again, I'm going to say this again. I said I'll never speak out on Jenny. Like I'll never, I never really thought that I'd ever really leave her chat. But some of the things that I've heard her say and do over the past couple, let's just call it the last 2 months, I've been very shocked. And a lot of people that I've heard say, she's obsessed with Bombshell, and they call it her obsession. And I can see why they say that. Yeah, only she can help herself. And look, Bomb is not a dumbass. Bomb is not a stupid woman. She's not. Okay. She might not be able to manage money well or whatever it may be. She knows why she's where she's at. But I cannot even imagine. Can y'all imagine? Has anybody ever, did anybody, and I'm sure that you probably did to some degree, maybe, stop and think if that was you, somebody, a police officer goes through your home, everything that that belongs to you. Okay, no matter how, if her subs gave it to her or whatever, it doesn't matter. It belongs to you. It's your personal private property. and it's all been videoed. They're going through it all. You know, your dogs are being stressed out. You know, they're being taken out. Your house is being torn apart. Next thing you know, all your shit's in the yard. Can you imagine that in itself? But then for somebody to put it on YouTube as content, like I can't even imagine how that would feel. I know how it felt when some of my stuff was put out and it wasn't even really accurate, but nonetheless, it was a target towards me. And then when it became a target outside of me, like my family, you know, that's whenever I made it, I handled it the way I needed to handle it. Okay. The way that I wanted to. I separated myself. I disappeared for a while. Right. Um, that alone hurt. That alone hurt. I can't imagine what that would feel like. We all know why my show went there in the first place. Hey, Sunshine and Rain, how are you? Sunshine, Rain. We're just talking about, we're not talking about Katie today, surprisingly. We're talking about the drama community. Yeah, Dash X. You know, I'll say this though, you know, there's all a stage in our life. Like, I'm not going to lie, there was a point in my life, you know, when I was a full time student, I was trying to work full time and blah, blah, blah. I didn't know how I didn't know if I was going to wake up in the morning and my lights were going to be on. I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. Um, I didn't go to people and ask. I just couldn't. That was me. Like I didn't even ask my parents unless I was going to be thrown out. I fortunately would have had an opportunity probably to have someone help me, but I just found I just go work. I'd go find a second job. I'd work doubles. But I was young. I could. Right now, I don't know what I would do at my age. But I wouldn't put myself in that position. We all say, you know what? We can all say we wouldn't until we're there. I mean, what I know I won't do, this is what I can say I wouldn't do. I would never put out somebody's body cam footage of them being booted out of their house because they're being evicted, all their shit's being thrown on the lawn. I wouldn't put that out. That I can say for a fact I wouldn't do. Yeah, right. No one knows what you're listening to, that you're listening to your trash YouTube. Sunshine. Um, and everybody gets caught up in stuff. Like, you know, there are people that I'm like, I can't, you know, like Katie Joy, she makes good money, right, on her channel. She's had big months. This is not sustainable for someone like you too, Dash X. Yeah. I think for the majority, most of us have been in that kind of situation. You know, Katie Joy, she has a very big channel. She's had some very big months, but she's pissed off a lot of people. She's being sued. This lawsuit that I cover on my channel that she's going through, she's over $250,000 in at this point. Hey, what the actual? You've probably been in here the whole time and I haven't even seen you. I get it. Look, you know, she knew that it was going to happen. I don't understand why it was content. I don't know. Yeah, her lawsuits are definitely hurting her. I'm talking about Katie Joy. And so she makes all this money. And I was talking to somebody recently. There's a couple people that I talked to regarding that. And I was saying, you know, it sucks because Katie Joy is not likable. She's not employable. Okay. And when she keeps doing things she's doing, I mean, technology, everything changes so quickly, right? And if you don't keep up with it and you can't keep up with it, that's not a lucrative thing. For someone like Katie Joy who makes really good money, you cannot rely on that to be your end all. Like, what's retirement going to look like? What is what is the your future going to be? Whether you have children, grandchildren, whatever it may be. And if you have a small channel, you certainly can't rely on it. And just because you have big months, yeah, that's great. And I'm not saying that that's how Bombshell. I don't know. I can't speak to that. Hey, Dixie Normus. How are you? Making me say that out loud. I was cussing like a sailor earlier, so I shouldn't have. Hazel Farms, break the silence. Yeah, look, now I'm finally reading chat. So, Flava, I asked you earlier, and you probably responded and I missed it. When was the separation whenever you left Jenny's, whenever you and Jenny had your falling out? Are we still fighting in chat? Oh, drama community. Hey, sis Kate, how are you? June or July. Okay, so it was that long ago. I thought it was in the summertime. And I don't think I even really made any like strong decisions on my end about how I felt until, November or maybe even December, but this pushed me over that. This did it for me. This sealed it. The another thing that bothers me too, okay, I don't like Paige. I've never said that out loud, so might be a surprise, might not be. I do not like Paige. When Paige would be on Jenny's panel, I would leave. And that was my right. Did I say anything loud about it? No. I just would leave and then come back and she's still on panel and I would skip through it. I do not like Paige, okay? There are certain people that I'm not gonna like on someone's panel. And that's okay. It bothered me that whenever she knew how much it upset people that Michelle would come up on panel, that she did it anyways. And I don't know why this time around. I don't know. Lori said you left Bombshell for one simple reason. She did a live and said, I never ask anyone for anything while texting me and asking for food and cigs. See, I mean, yeah, again, I can't attest to that because I was never in her community. Again, if Jenny is saying that we're all hate bonding over here because we're all gonna, who are we hate bonding against? Okay, that I guess it's like her. I guess because if we join Flavor, we have to hate who Flava hates. Is because if there's any hate bonding, I have to admit that, and I don't want to admit it, but that's what brought me into this community, anyways. Hate bonding. Um, there's another term that she's been using. Like she says, it's hate bonding and all of a sudden, I mean, basically, she's saying that we are going to start kissing Bombshell's ass now because um, because they hate Jenny so much. Like you have to choose one or the other. I'm not choosing anybody. What I'm choosing is human emotion. Why this was done while Bombshell was in the spot that she's in is just terrible. Okay, that's what I'm choosing. Um, I'm not choosing Bombshell. I'm not, it's like, why do we feel like there has to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna stick with this person there, so I'm gonna like the person they hate. Like, none of it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that about Bombshell. It takes advantage of people. Like whenever, that's another thing, like when Mo and everybody left, that's great, that's fine, that's wonderful, you wanna leave. But to give them so much credibility over for Jenny and them to give them so much credibility and to trust them so much when we know a lot of the dirty shit that was happening over there, Mo did it. And those are facts. I'm sorry. They said it. I mean, I'm not just making shit up. Like it was said. And so why are we trusting them? I'll tell you why. Because they're against Bombshell. You want to talk about hate bonding? It's empathy, not hate bonding. Hey, proud on me, mom. The real Miss Moz. It's booty hole, not as. Can't nobody take advantage of me without my permission. Okay. And that's exactly it. Like I have to own up to my shit. If I've ever been taken advantage of, like, okay, if I'm gonna be in a community and I'm gonna do my own thing and I'm gonna have my own beliefs, that's on me. I can't blame nobody's gonna hold me down and tell me what I need to believe and what I need to do. That's on me. And so I have to take ownership for that. The reason why I decided to come talk about it is because I don't want Jenny to say, I can't believe that you chose sides. You're hate bonding. I'm here to tell you, I'm not fucking, there's no hate bonding here. None. And I am not forgiving Bombshell for anything other than I forgave Bombshell for what she did a while ago. That was my choice before this. Okay. I'm not on Bombshell's side. I'm on nobody's side. There are no sides. Okay, so it's not like I'm like, what is the term that she's been using? Um, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. You know that we're gonna all of a sudden now be like kissing Bombshell's ass. No, I'm certainly not kissing her ass. But can I have some? Can I feel bad for a woman who's going through some shit and lost her brother? My God, I can't even imagine. Mistress 900, Jenny hate bonded with Mo and crew, then turned on Flava. The obsession she has for Bomb hasn't changed in the few years I've been around. Mistress, yeah. And someone just said, thank you for typing that. I mean, that's how I feel too. Like, um, along came, look, I wasn't, when the situation happened with me and that happened on Bombshell's channel, I wasn't willing to go toe to toe with Bombshell. I had no reason to because I had bigger fish to fry in the background, y'all. Trust me. And I said to her, I'm just not gonna, um, look, another thing, when you ignore something, whenever you just don't put emphasis on something, it goes away. Imagine that, right? So I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to keep picking at somebody who's going to make my life a living hell when I already got something happening right now, and I don't need that." And I guess I wasn't willing to hate enough, so my hate bond wasn't a strong one with her. We didn't have a strong enough hate bond because my hate wasn't big enough because that's not where I was willing to focus. I needed to focus on something else, and that's just not my personality. It is what it is, right? But yeah, I agree. I think that they're because they're out for Bomb. And listen, if Mo and them are out for Bombshell, fine. Now I don't have any right to say that they should or they shouldn't or why not or what they went through. Bombshell might have really hurt them. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is, can we just let some shit like this, when this is happening, can we just let this subside? Can you just give somebody a break? Because look what it did. What it did is somebody who I was not fully against Jenny, like I was, I hate to use that word like against, but I was never fully separated from that community until this happened. Now I am, and I'm willing to talk about it. But I'm not gonna name call, I'm not gonna put stuff out, I'm not, that's just not, for me, that's just me. Doesn't mean I don't watch people that do that shit. Come on. Um, and that's where I'm at, Kiki. When somebody's able to own up to what they do, this other thing that's been happening lately to me, this holier than thou thing. Look, it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay if you make mistakes, but to say over and over and over again how perfect you are and you don't do this and you've been around for so long and you're the best troll, like all these things, nobody is. So go where you want. Why go live and announce it? Because are you talking to me because I can? Is that at me or are you talking to somebody in chat? Just curious. If that's against me, I'll answer that, but you gotta let me know if that's against me or if you're talking to somebody else. Um, I don't know, y'all. I've been on here. Oh, you're talking to me? Okay, I'll answer that. Have you been here the whole fucking time? Have you been here for the 2 hours that I've been talking? Because if you haven't, then of course you don't know. I'm going live to talk about it because I have a fucking right to. Because because I can. Because I can. That's why. Hope that's good enough for you. I'll go where I want and I'll make myself known where I want. But if you're not part of all this and you weren't friends with somebody who tried to make you feel like everything was fine with them, until you don't side with them, that you want to be in the middle, okay? Yeah, it's my channel. The whole time you're long winded as hell. Get the fuck out of here. You know what? Can somebody, Flava, I'll let you do it. Who wants to do it? Actually, I don't care. You can stay here and talk shit all you want. If anybody, if Flava wants to kick him, you can kick him. I don't care. I am long winded. I said in the beginning. See, obviously you haven't fucking been here. I said from the very beginning, I am very long winded. I cannot make shit short and sweet. I just cannot do it. I can't do it. It's not part of me. And if you don't like it, you can leave. Thinking she was my friend was my first mistake. Rusty trombone. I own it. Yeah. I wonder who that was. Who do you think was behind that alt? Let's should we play the who is it? Who was it? Who was that behind that alt? I swear, y'all. There's probably people, if they're watching my channel and they come on this and they hear me cussing the way that I am, they're gonna be like, oh man. I don't know. You think I don't think it was JJJ. Well, maybe it was. I don't know. If it is. I mean, I'm not trying to be a total asshole about it. I'm just telling you, look, this is how I stayed quiet. I never really said anything. But when we get to a certain point and we're putting stuff out, and I find it extremely damaging to somebody, I have a right to say it. Samantha, I appreciate you, Southern Mountain. It's been good. Thank you. I don't speak out on these things. I really don't. Because I just don't. And there's, I can have my opinions, and my opinions are just that. They're just my opinions. I haven't had any beef with anybody like in 2 years, and I prefer to keep it that way. And I don't want beef with Jenny. I just don't. Like I said, like she never did anything to me. I'm explaining why I decided to separate. And if people don't like it, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Thank you, Angel of Goodness. Flava. Oh my god, I can't pin. I'm on my damn phone. It's better that I'm on my phone because earlier whenever I kept my phone away from me for a reason so that way I didn't get caught up in chat, but please. We all know I'm gonna. It was a slithering mistake. That, you know what? I agree. And here's the thing. Hey, wait, y'all. Did that person come in chat before I started to talk about whenever Mo and Dim, whenever Mo and Dim left and came over to Jenny's? Were they in the chat before then, or did that person slither in as soon as I started talking about that? Oh, Mo is in here. Mo, you listen, and I'm here to say this, Mo, you are welcome in my chat. I have nothing against you. I said earlier, look, if you guys left Bombshell and you did it on your own accord for whatever reason, I'm not here to say she hurt you or didn't hurt you or to have an opinion on that or why you were there. I personally do feel like, if we did some things in one community, it doesn't mean we're going to change who we are in the next. Whatever, you're welcome here. Um, um, and whatever, you know. Um, because here's the thing, I don't know how Mo feels about all this that went down. I can't say how she feels. They've been here a while. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dixie Normus. I really wasn't paying attention to chat. I figured I'm just going to let it kind of go, you know. I'm an adult. I go where I want in my real life. Nobody even tells me what to do. I'm same here. Like my mom, like she said it. She's from the time you were born, I couldn't tell you what to do. But anyways, look, I don't think it was right. Um, I want to say that I don't agree with Bombshell. Okay, what she's done in the past. This doesn't erase that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I wish we could all just stop and think before we say things, stop and think before we do things, and say, is this the last thing? If this is the last thing this person heard or saw me do, how would that feel? Would I want that? We got to stop and think about what we do and what we say. And if somebody's at a very bad place, maybe just let them be in that bad place Here's another thing, especially if they're not doing anything at you right at the moment. Jonathan, hey Jonathan, how are you? You're welcome here, Jonathan. Honestly, everybody's welcome in here unless you're going to start. I don't know. If I get a little feisty, I get a little feisty. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome to their opinions. Jonathan, I know that you are in Jenny's. I know that you're in Flava's. I know, and look, I know that, and I've heard nothing but wonderful things about you. And I don't have any. Look, I just think that it was a lot. That's all. Step back and breathe before you act. Yeah. Look, in a year from now, I'm really curious to see, well, 6 months from now, what kind of conversations we'll be having, right? But one thing that I won't do is say, I regret feeling bad for somebody that was going through a hard time, even if they um, did some shit to me. And Mo, and I'm not here to pick a fight with you, trust me. Look, girl, look, I'm not a fighter. You were her mod, that you were one of her mods when that happened to me. And I held a lot of anger for a long time. And finally I said, why do I have all this anger? And I let it go before this happened. But this just made it easier to do it. But you were one of her mods in there. And so, that could be two things. And one of the things that I could say is that you chose that, you didn't like being in those situations. You didn't like being a part of that. So you left. Granny on the web's in here too. Man, I feel like I'm in Flava's chat and other people's. Hey, Granny on the web, welcome in. Honestly, I don't want to divide any more than what the division is. But I do want to express that I was shocked that even Jenny put something out like that. And that's me. And some people can say, no, I knew she would have done that. Whatever. Hey, Birdie Bath. And again, we'll tell in time. We'll know. But I can't even imagine. The same thing with Bot. Like, that's what I was saying in the very beginning. Like, this just happened to Bot. Let's not forget that we all offered her, our ears, our shoulders. What do you need? We're here for you. She's going to need us in 6 months. She's still going to need everybody that offered her that in 6 months. She's probably going to need it more. We can't forget that. And all we can do is watch and see how she, now I'm speaking back on Bomb, like watch and see how she navigates through this, what happens, right? We don't have to keep kicking someone when they're down. Um, and I liked how everybody was able to stop with Bot. Like, okay, holy cow. And people rallied together. I was really kind of hoping that that's where this would have gone. I get the whole pictures of the stuff on the lawn or whatever. I get that. That's the drama community. You guys have been doing this shit for a long time. That's not really out of the norm, is it? But it gave me a totally different perspective. And it's just like whenever people left Bombshell, right? Okay, I'll just use this as an analogy, then I'm going to get off of here. People finally saw things that they needed to see for their own selves, okay? And they decided to leave Bombshell. People could have left Flava, people could have left Charlotte, people could have left me, people could leave Katie, people could leave any channel, right? They saw something and it was their time. It didn't fit with their beliefs, how they felt at the moment, whatever it may be. That was their time to leave. And like I said, I'm not going to cuss Jenny out. I'm not going to call her names. I'm not going to do any of that because I just don't feel, number one, I just don't feel that. I would never put out anything that she and I spoke about. I would never, nothing. I was highly disappointed in what was put out, and it was a game changer for me. That's all. Anybody can, everybody can react and support who they want. honestly. Like I said, I know that there are people that I consider friends that I will check on. If not on the daily, I'll check on them regularly. I will always, and I do not care if they're in Jenny's chat, if they're in Jenny's Discord, if they talk to Jenny on the phone, if they're Jenny's neighbor. I do not care. They will still be my friend until they do something to me or do something that I disagree with. And I know some people are going to say that I'm a hypocrite, that I can agree with what Flav is doing, but all of a sudden I have a problem with what Jenny did. I personally feel that there is a difference. That's my personal belief. I think Mo's funny. No, Mo isn't stupid. I mean, look, Mo could have an agenda that none of us know about. I don't know. I'm not saying she does by any means. I'm not saying that at all. I just want Mo to know. I want everybody to know they're welcome in here. If you're going to come in here and start insulting me as why? Just leave if you don't like what I'm saying. Hey, Kayla Kitty. We're not talking about Katie Joy today. We were talking about something in the drama community. So just a heads up on that. But look, I appreciate all you being here. I know I've ruffled some feathers for some people. I know I've probably surprised some people because I don't talk out much. I don't say much. I keep to myself. But y'all, this bothered me. It bothered me. And I think it's I think it's my right to explain why I made the decision I did. And it doesn't mean that Jenny might have said those things intentionally or meant the way she it was said, but that's how it went down. And again, I'm not going to insult her. I'm not going to name call. I'm not going to make any wishes on her. You know, Proud Army Mom, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to hop off of here. It's been 2 hours of me just rambling on, apparently, and being long winded. I get it. I never said I wasn't going to be long winded. I said from the very beginning, I'll talk in circles. So I'll see y'all in others chats. Those of you that were here that have not been in my chat, even if you gave me a hard time, it's fine. I think we are all, listen, in 6 months from now, some of us arguing these arguments that we're arguing right now, in 6 months, very well could be in a different chat arguing against it or saying, damn, why did I feel that? Why was I so strong about that? Right? We know how this shit goes. Okay. But I'm not going to spread hate. I'm not going to put out stuff that's going to hurt somebody. And I really just hope that all of us can sit back and say, if what I say and what I do is the last thing this person hears, am I okay with that? I am long-winded, Dante. Y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all in another chat. The good thing is, Dante, I don't go live often, so you don't have to really deal with this that much. You didn't get to give me a hard time, Dash X? Yeah, you could do that next time. Dash X, I saw your when you were talking about with Katie Joy, and when I go live next, I'll be asking you some more questions for sure. You can give me a hard time then. All right, Eorism. All right, all y'all. Again, those of you that I've never seen in chat before, welcome. You might not ever want to come back after you heard some of the things I had to say or see where I stand or heard my filthy mouth. I don't know. But again, everybody's welcome. And I will see y'all next time. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm sure I'll see you in chat here somewhere else soon. Bye, y'all.